I come out here just now. I knocked on my neighbor's door about this, and no one's answering the door. So, but I heard someone in there, so I'm assuming it's one of the kids that's there. Um, they seem to be pretty nice, but I walk out here and there's a fucking camera sitting here or something, some kind of device recording me right here, literally. So this is my property. See that string? See that? That's my not even 2 feet away, shining only on my property only, nowhere else. Meaning like they're surveillancing me. And they have some other thing, I guess, I don't know if that's a camera or an antenna or whatever the hell that is up there, but if they're trying to be like stupid like these other neighbors were, we're going to have some problems. They've been really nice so far. If they want to surveillance their camera, they need to put their camera on their own property, not mine. So I'm just, documenting this because I've been harassed nonstop for 2 years by my neighbors. The police just came and told them across the street the other night. They had their spotlight shining over the fence onto my property over here, into my windows, like extra super bright light that they had to turn their lights around. They cut my trees down. These were all trees here. They completely cut my trees down, which are over there. Can zoom in. They're big trees. They're not little trees. Well, they cut my little ones too down. There were hundreds of little ones. It was completely brushed like this, even thicker. And they cut it down. So now, people that lived there that did that, they sold it, and I guess these people that moved in are now affiliated. And they even had people before, like, surveillancing me from here, like, under their house, watching me. Like, literally, I came out and there were 2 guys there under their fucking house about 8 or 9 months ago or so, a little bit more maybe, and my dog sniffed them out, and they had guns. And I called the police and the property owners association about it, that they're harassing me. I've never done nothing to these people. I'm not doing anything illegal or nothing over here, but it's still harassment. It's trespassing. It's a violation of my privacy and my constitutional rights of privacy. You don't have the right to videotape my private property. This is private property. This is not public property. And it's, even though it's in their house, they have it facing only towards my property, not theirs. They're not looking, or it's not facing any part of their property at all. So, I've got a problem with that. It's a violation of my Privacy Act. I can't even sit out on my porch and drink a cup of coffee and watch the birds like I used to in the morning without somebody over here surveillancing me. So it's like they've been doing this since day one almost, like literally. They're like, oh no, there's a gay guy that lives in our neighborhood. Let's just record him. Let's harass him. Let's threaten him. Let's vandalize his vehicle. They've keyed my car. They've shot at me. They've slashed my tires. They've threatened me. They've literally like tried to fight me. It's nonstop. They throw fireworks. I mean, I can show you just from the other night where they were shooting there's one of them here. See, there's my cabin where they were shooting fireworks. I didn't have no fireworks, but I was here. I saw them do it. I called the police. Police didn't do nothing. The people over there were right there on the road, literally shooting them right at my house. So the people here were in cahoots. Over here were in cahoots. These people here, they're friends with them. So, and they're the ones that had the spotlights over there. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell they told me. They don't know any of these people, that they were not affiliated with the previous owners at all whatsoever, which I found out is not true as well. And that they're actually cousins or something like that. And so the whole family of Linda and Mike that used to live here, that literally destroyed my property, has now moved in on my street down there. So the sister lives over here, and like her cousin lives over there. It's her other cousin, her whole family, and like the nephews and the auntie and the grandma and the grandpa and like the whole freaking family like lives there. And they've been doing nothing but harassing me and threatening me and stalking me, trying to run me off my land because they want my land. They've done everything they can to stop me from building a house, which I was supposed to be. I was the first person here. I was here before they were. And they've done everything. They've cost me tens and thousands of dollars in damages. They cut all my trees. Every tree that I replanted, they keep killing. They keep killing and cutting down and spraying poison on my trees. Like, literally, I had like avocado trees, lime trees, lemon trees, all the way down in a line, like completely growing thick and lush, and they just keep on and on and on and on, killing my plants. So, you know, I've called the cops over 100 times about all these situations out here, and they won't do anything. The only time that they've done anything is this last time right here, just a couple days ago. They came and told these people that they cannot shine their bright lights into my property. It's called trespass by light, and it's against the restrictions, the property owner's restrictions as well. That you can't be shining your bright lights like stadium lights up in people's windows and faces and stuff. And it's not even on their property. It's not even facing their property like it was for a year and a half. They did it just to be annoying. I mean, it was so bright. It's neon fluorescent lights. They're not normal porch lights. They're extremely bright stadium lights, excuse me. And it literally blinds me at night. I can't see anything. So we got that issue. So I don't understand why they would have a camera pointing right at me. I've not done anything wrong to these people, and they seem to be really kind so far. So I don't know. They don't have any cameras anywhere else. I just walked around their house and knocked on their front door. Not even on their front door. So this is my property, which they were in violation of anyways, because they're supposed to be 10 feet away from my property line, and they're only like 4 feet away. Not even like 3 feet. If you count this part with the stairs, and any building object is not permitted within 5 to 10 feet. It's one of the two, 5 or 10. I'm not sure exactly, but still, it's not 5 feet away. So even if it was 5 feet, it's still not 5 feet away. So they were ordered, allegedly, from what I was told by the PLA manager, to move the house, the trailer, because they were encroaching on my property. And so they, have done nothing but literally go to extremes. I've been shot at by their family members. I've been chased. I've been, ran off the road and assaulted and threatened and followed and stalked, even on Facebook. They've harassed and made fake profiles and, just all their people. And now they're in cahoots with Terrenos, Houston's people, who I filed a lawsuit on, or trying to file a lawsuit. And there's a class action lawsuit I joined in on against the company. And they've literally came here every single day for almost 2 years now and destroyed my property intentionally, knowingly, and purposely, and harassed me and threatened me and scammed me, extorted me, all these things. That it's been a nightmare. I paid almost $2,000 for these people to put my water in, and I paid my monthly bill. I had a water hose here. It's not even connected. That's my sewage line, and they didn't even put it where I told them, because my house is supposed to be over there, and they put it way over here, so that I would have to pay extra, for the pipeline and have it installed and all that stuff. So, I had a water hose hooked up to my water because there was no lock on it, and I asked the guy that was here that installed it, who said that those people right down there, they're actually here right now. Those same people. Today is January 5th, 2022. That Santa Fe Water Department putting in someone else's water lines. So when they did mine, they destroyed my whole property, and they, instead of just digging a small little trench, connecting the water, they literally came and bulldozed my whole property, like 100 feet of my property back, so, and it like eroded. It was smooth. I had grass. It was like a golf course, so it's been hell, man. I have no trespassing signs. I've had my surveys. They keep pulling up my surveys. I've had to have it re-surveyed several times. Now, I've put my string up to a marker. I put spray paint lines all the way, and they just keep taking it down. They're pulling up my fence posts. I try to put up a fence, and they tear up my fence, steal my lumber, damage my property, cut my trees, burn my whole property, caught it on fire. Like, over half of my property, was burnt. And they did it intentionally, when I wasn't here. I came back and my whole property was on fire. So, which at that time all of this was completely grown in on the edges of the whole outskirts. It was only cleared in the middle. And I wanted to keep it that way. I wanted it to be blocked in. I wanted privacy. I wanted trees. This whole area, the whole neighborhood, the whole street was like a forest. It was trees and wildflowers, and this was a creek. They took the dirt off my land and filled in the creek with it. And all their giant sinkholes, where those trees are, there were giant sinkholes there, as big as at their house, or a house, or a garage or something. And it was so deep you couldn't even hardly see the bottom. It just was like a cave. It went all the way down. And they took the dirt off my land, which is all this. This is all my land, up into that fence post right there. And that post, it's at an angle, because my property is a triangle, not a square. Or a rectangle like theirs is. And they filled it in with dirt. And see, you can even see some of the sinkholes are still there, because every time it rains hard, it sinks back in, and they just come take the dirt off of my property, which is still damaged. Some of the grass kind of grew back a little, but it's not really growing back like it was. It was full, lush, green grass, the seeds that I planted, Bermuda grass, and it was like a golf course. And now, you can just see, and they keep driving on my property nonstop. You can see the tire tracks, and or they're driving in my ditch. Like, they'll get in my ditch and drive all the way instead of the road, like at night, and then pull up here, and like where that fence post is, where their lights off. I've called the cops, and it was a white, like Nissan, like off-white cream colored Nissan or Tacoma, and then another night it was like a denim blue truck. So, and then of course the police don't do anything at all, nothing whatsoever. And they said I got to record everything, in order to file charges. But, so, I'm not going to tolerate this shit. And they're not going to fucking record me. Excuse my language, but they're not. That's a violation of my privacy. They don't have my permission to sit there and put a camera facing straight at my front door, at my cabin, and on my property only, and not theirs. So they're only doing it just to be annoying, I guess. That's the only thing I can assume. Why would they put a camera recording me right there? Like, so this is the front of my cabin. That's where I park my car, and that's their window. Like, bam. And here's where the dog sleeps. That is a stray that I've been helping and feeding till the rescue foster people come get her, which they're supposed to come get her any day now. So my tools are here. Yeah, I've had some major problems with people trespassing on my property. And I do need cameras. That was my tomatoes that got froze. And these are all the chains from the dogs that my neighbors had, literally were strangling the dogs with. They were choking them, and they ran over here. And, those were around their necks, and I had to rescue them. Like, they were literally choking. So, here's some of the plants. So, see, you can see here my avocado trees, that I planted like 20 or 30 of, that are still alive, still here. They're, turning brown because of the freeze, but this is what's left of my garden. Some of the avocados, the pineapple, the onions, some okra, a couple okra plants. But this whole entire area was nothing but a garden right here. I had watermelon, honeydew melons, corn was all right here, so I even put up fishing string, like tripwires, for the trespassers who keep coming in the middle of the night and trespassing on my property here. So you can see where they cut my string and tripped over it. I had it right down here, going all the way across. And this is all through my property. I have these little tripwires everywhere, so, they keep cutting this string. As you can see, there's knots all the way down. I've replaced it probably about 30 times now. And as soon as I put it back up, they come and cut it back down, and this is my property. I have the right to, this is where I was building my fence, and they won't even let me build my fence. So here's one of the giant avocado trees that's now dead. But all the rest of them are gone, completely gone. And now these are suddenly dead, as you can see. I mean, they're just completely dead. The leaves are dead, everything's dead, they're dead. You know, all this was thick too. They keep cutting out my trees. And when I just went and knocked on their door, I seen that he had cutters on his front, by his front porch. Limb cutters, like clippers, to cut limbs and sticks. And I couldn't figure out why my trees are still being cut. Even though the other neighbors already moved, I thought that was going to stop and end. Well, they're still cutting my trees, what's left of them here. As you can see, they keep cutting everything. Like I had a tree right here and it's completely gone. You know, and it was about 6 foot tall. It was right here, and I had a little flower bed, like right there. And it's now completely gone. It was right there. So that was my little fire where I sat by the fire. You know, and you can see where they threw their beer cans and stuff, their trash over here in my fire, because I have not put any trash at all. You know, it's been constant nonstop. So they don't have not one tree, nothing, except for a dead crepe myrtle tree that got some kind of fungus infection or mold issue on it. But they went and literally cut everything down. I cut their grass for them. You know, I did this. I was like being really cool with these people, the new neighbors, and I guess we're going to start having problems, you know, because I mean, why else would they be recording me on my property going in and out? That's not allowed. You can't do that. So I'm going to confront them when they get here today, you know, so I'm just going to have this documented, you know, that I did document this, because they're not allowed to put cameras facing my property like that without my permission. You know, so it's right there. I put my little no trespassing sign, like that they ripped down. You know, I just taped it over their window where the camera is to block their view, because they're not going. If they want to put a camera, that's fine, but they need to ask me, and they need to have it facing at an angle down their property, not facing straight towards my property, surveillancing me and watching everything I do as I come and go. And they're not going to do that. You know, that's weird. That's creepy. That's, you know, makes me uneasy. I don't like people staring at me. I don't like people watching everything. I have the right to live my life on my private property in peace without being harassed or anyone being a nuisance, you know, or just disturbing me or anything, you know. And it's just like, why the hell would you do that? Like, why would you put a camera facing me right there all of a sudden, you know, in my property right there? That does not make sense. So I guess obviously they're in cahoots with these other people, you know, and I mean, that's the only thing that I can figure out. Why would they put a camera watching me? Because it was just right after this, right after these people over here, they told them to turn their lights around, you know, and then they go and put a camera right here. I mean, just like the next day. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they don't get their way, they're going to keep on and trying to do everything they can. So here is some of the damage, you know, to prove. Now, I'm documenting everything. I don't know if the camera can pick up on the keys, scratches here, all the way down my car, all the way down. And I mean, even on it's dirty right now. There's a lot of like dirt from the construction workers all over it. But I mean, you can see the damage that they've done to my car. See the dents everywhere where they've intentionally hit my car while it was parked, you know, and keyed it and keyed it and keyed it. Just, I mean, every time, you know, they keep slashing my tires over and over and over. I've had probably about a dozen flat tires just in the past, even just in the past couple of weeks. And you can see where they're just literally like, I can go down the road to the dollar store, see all the nicks and stuff. I mean, that one was there for a little while, but it wasn't there when I got the car, just about 6 months ago. Haven't even had the car 6 months. There was nothing wrong with the car. I mean, it had some minor like paint issues where the paint was fading from being in the sun, which has gotten worse, but that was it. you know, and it had one minor dent in the driver's side door, and that's it. And now it's like the whole car. They were literally, I saw them, you know, like hitting the buggies into my car on purpose, you know, and then there's a dent here, a big, huge dent here as well. Like somebody hit my car with something. It looks like a crowbar, but it's got like white paint on it. So, and then there's like white scratches here, like white paint, and then black where it's went all the way down to the base. So, you know, you can see here where someone, it looks like someone tried to pry my door open with a crowbar or something. You know, that was a few months ago. You know, so I've called the police. You know, they set off my alarm constantly in the middle of the night. My alarm's going off. You know, so I've had a lot of stuff stolen, so I can understand why they maybe would want a camera, but put it on your property, not mine. You know, if I want to put a camera on my property, I'll put a camera on my property, you know, myself. I don't need someone else to put a camera on my property without my permission, you know, so, or surveillance in me or anything. So here's another one of my avocados. It's still alive. So, you know, they can't say it died because of the cold weather, because all the other ones are still alive that are everywhere else around my property. Now, the only ones that are dead are the ones that were from here all the way down, probably like 150 feet down. You know, every about 3 or 4 feet, I had another tree that I replanted after they cut my trees down. And I've replanted them and replanted them and replanted them many times. And every time I replant another one or grow another one, they kill it. They cut it down or they spray poison on it, and it automatically dies. And within 24 hours, it's dead and wilted. And so I'm just tired of it. You know, I'm so fed up with just the constant harassment, threats, and even them people down here with a maroon truck, which is the cousin, you know, or relative or affiliate of, you know, Linda, that was starting all that crap with me here. They cut my trees down, which they were actually contracted with them from what they told me when they was here, witnessed, you know, that they were the ones who cut my trees down. I guess they do some type of construction or something. So, you know, it's just been nonstop. You know, they pulled up my surveys here and here, even my neighbor's surveys, not mine, just mine, but theirs too. But this is my metal pins in the ground was here, you know, but it's actually supposed to be a little bit further over, but they keep pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. You know, just to try to be jerks, trying to take more of my land to make it look like they didn't destroy my property. And you can see where they gouged out, you know, a good several feet over to my property, all the way down, you know, where they gouged it out, where the bulldozer, literally, you can see the level, the difference, where it's like a drop, you know, like 2 to 3 foot drop, you know, so, you know, they really just destroyed my property, and they need to be held accountable for what they did, and they're not being held accountable. It's been almost 2 years, and I have been calling and reporting and filing everything I can through the police, through the Texas Rangers, through the POA, through the Colony Ridge, Terrenos, Houston customer service, you know, through all the attorneys. I've been denied and rejected from all these local attorneys around here to file a lawsuit on these people. You know, they act like they're going to take my case. They do an intake form, and I send them all the info and all the documents that they requested, and they're saying I definitely have a case. But then suddenly, whenever I notify them that I put a lawsuit on them, you know, or notify Terrenos Houston, and I get an email from all these attorneys saying that they are withdrawing, you know, that they're not going to take my case or whatever. So, and I've went through this probably over a dozen times now with several attorneys, you know, for over a year and a half, trying to like put a lawsuit to charge them, you know, for the damages that they caused, you know, so not even just criminal but civil, you know. So I mean, and you can see here, I mean, see all this, you know, where they're still cutting my sticks and my limbs and all this on my property. They're just literally going in here. I mean, you can just see where they're cutting all my trees down, you know, and they just keep on doing one by one by one by one or two, you know, and they're big trees that were like here. You know, this one has now died too, as you can see. Yeah, it's half dead anyways. So you can see the scarring from where they took the bulldozers here and was like scraping all the trees with their bulldozers. But they just keep cutting more and more and more down, and I don't want my trees cut down, and they keep cutting all my trees. Literally until I have no trees like them. They have none. And she kept, it's a little short fat lady named Linda, a little Mexican, and she's like 32 years old, and she's a psychopath, and she already moved and she still keeps coming over here. And she went from door to door through the whole neighborhood, passing out flyers about me, telling everyone I was gay and, to watch out and, that we got a gay in the neighborhood, and she was jealous because I was friends with her husband, Mario, and she would freak out every time we were out here doing mowing the grass or whatever. We would talk, and here she would come, like flipping out, like throwing a fit, being rude, being a total bitch, and being a psychopath, talking shit, harassing me, threatening me, and just all kinds of just foul shit coming out of her mouth. And she's literally would be like shaking convulsively. She would be freaking out, going crazy. And she was like running and literally like recording me and videotaping everything that I do every time, every day that I'm outside. As soon as I open my door and I walk out, here they come with their cameras recording me. She even hired professional people to come take pictures of me and record me, and like private investigators or something, or like bodyguards. I don't know, the guys with the guns, so they were pretty muscular guys, one black, one white, the ones that were there under her trailer surveillancing me, so it's just like, what the fuck, like I told her I was going to sue her, if she didn't say, and they said they were going to pay to put up the fence, whatever, 10-foot tall fence post, here for my privacy, and it's been 2 years and they still have not put up the fence, and now it's just like, what the hell, like what the hell, like why? So there's the camera again, so you can see it. Let's zoom in. I guess the thing fell off here. It's a camera. I mean, obviously, plain as day, there's a camera, like plain as day, right there. And we're not going to do that, so they're not allowed to videotape me, so their assholes can kiss my ass, and they're not going to put cameras on me. Sorry. So I just taped my little no trespassing sign over the camera, so, and I'm going to have a talk with him. When he drives up tonight, I'm going to confront him. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to confront him. He's about a year or two older than I am. His name's Frank. He seems really cool. So I don't know if it's him, the dad, or if it's one of the kids or whoever, but we're going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm just going to make it very clear that they're not allowed to put cameras over here. I don't mind them having cameras on their property. That's fine, but they need to face at their property, not straight towards mine. Not straight towards my front door, watching me only. That's not allowed. You can't do that. It's against the law, so as well. It's not just rude and inconsiderate and disrespectful. It's against the law. So, and I'm pretty sure that the POA or Terrenos Houston put them, or someone, or Linda or someone put them up to this, because even Ryan, which was the manager of the Property Owners Association, which I'm also suing, because they don't do their job. They have not enforced any restrictions at all, and they actually, deceptive trade practices, I filed complaints on them through the Texas Attorney General, Attorney General, and so he even told me to, like, that I could put, this is exactly what he told me, to put cameras facing right into their bedroom windows, is what he told me, and he seems to be a drama queen, this Ryan guy. When I do call him, he's sassy, he's got a lot of attitude, and he talks a lot of shit, so, and every time I've called, even their attorneys, Brent Lane, and they make fake names, they cuss me out, they were yelling at me, just telling me I had to leave, vacate my property, and then they filed a false foreclosure on my property, saying I didn't pay for my property when I did, so, and they've been known to do this. This is why they have a class action lawsuit to thousands of people. Anyone that complains, about the deceit and deceptive trade practices and stuff. So, and instead of just fixing it, instead of just making it right, they want to fucking fight. They want to, like, intimidate people. They want to harass people, and they want to like do wrong. So just do right. Just do the right thing, people. Make it right. Fix it. Repair it. You know, don't just keep on trying to get out the easy way by trying to run people off like me. We're not doing anything wrong at all. And I've been forced to live here for 2 years without utilities now that I paid for. I even got arrested for using my water hose in a water hose for theft of water, even though I paid for it and I paid my monthly bill. And I was charged a felony crime of ag assault with a deadly weapon. First, whenever I called 911 for help, because the water guy that was damaging my property and cutting my water hose, I reported it. So, and I told the guy to get off my property. I stood right there, right here, and that's probably as close as I got to him, as he was over here by my water meter. And I said, get the fuck off my fucking property, you fucking bitch, asshole. I cussed his ass out, called him some names or something like that, whatever. And I told him not to come back over here anymore. I've already told him several times. I had to call the police on him 3 days in a row, actually. And they told me they wouldn't do anything. The police here, they're privately contracted police that's contracted by Colony Ridge, has also contracted the water department, who's still here down there. The same ones who installed the water. It's not the same guy, Michael, the water meter guy that reads the meters, but yeah, so they charged me for cut locks, as you can see. They charged me 3 times for saying I cut the lock, and I told them there's never been a lock. And as you can see, there's no lock. There's no lock there. And see that? They stopped at exactly 4,000 gallons of water. You don't use exactly that. In the last month they charged me, it was exactly 2,000. And they came over here, turned my water on, let the water run everywhere until it got at exactly 2,000, and then stopped it. And now he did it again, and they're charging me for this. I'm paying for that. And then they charged me for a crime for theft of water. And all I use, as you can see, was my water hose that is not even connected to my house. It runs to that tree right there, and I would fill up my 5-gallon jugs of water. I can use less than 20 gallons of water a week will last me. Divide that by 4, and that's 20 times 4. What is that? That's like 100 gallons. So just give or take. Just on estimate that I'm using per month. So, and not 2,000. So, and I brought it to their attention that, when I did fill up the 5-gallon jugs, I watched the meter and I came and looked at it. And there was already water usage on the meter when they installed it, and it was not brand new. And I brought that to their attention as well. And my neighbor witnessed it. We were here when they were installing it. I have videos and pictures of it since day one, of the meter and everything with no lock on it. And even the water meter guy told me I can use a water hose. I can, and I was going to have, because I'm building my own house. I need electricity and I need water to do the concrete and to mix the concrete and to build my house. And they said I could put a post with an electrical post outlet on it, like on here, like somewhere over here, and a water hose faucet, and that's it, to hook my water hose in until I finish building my house, and they said that was allowed. Well, now all of a sudden, a year and a half later, it's not allowed, and another thing is I couldn't get my mail. I still haven't gotten my mail, even though until I paid the water, which I'd paid them, to install the water, not to, and I still don't have it, and it's not shouldn't be my duty to pay them, the developer, and their private contractors, money to install the water meter and the septic or the sewage line that they advertise is already being included with the land. And they even told me that it comes with a driveway as well, which is not true. As you can see, there's no driveway in the ads. And what they told me, this is why it's deceptive trade practices. They said it's not in a flood zone, which it is. There's a bayou that runs all the way here, and it's in a level 2 flood zone, which it's even more now, because they've done all the construction, changing the flow of the water. So you can see the erosion here, you know, just from where they destroyed my land and they bulldozed it and didn't replant the grass or anything, and they just keep gouging it out. You can even see their tractor tracks where they keep on and on. So anyways, I have a call coming in, so let me answer this.